I had no prior knowledge of David whatsoever, which I think is really the strength of this show. It takes something that is public knowledge and then reveals something that hasn't been public knowledge for some reason, and how deep that vein goes. And of course that leads you to people like David Madsen. In researching David, I think what I found most interesting about David was he was a very charming, very generous, very compassionate. When they entered his apartment, they found presents that were wrapped for his nieces and nephews 6 months in advance of Christmas. Shame is something that's really gripping the country at the moment. What I spoke with Ryan Murphy about, and Dan Minahan, the director, and Tom Rob Smith, they really wanted to capture the essence of what gay shame does to a person, and that it's very different from all other kinds of shame, in that it's something that is forced into a person from the society and then is internalized by the person. So David was struggling with trying to fit in on a social level, with trying to belong, and those things are very different, fitting in and belonging, and how being gay in the 90s and being forced into the closet really led to him having neither of those two things. And when people don't fit in and they don't belong, the amount of shame and the amount of guilt eats away at a person. And I think for David, that's the main thing that I explore in the episode, in episode 4 and throughout the series, is this idea of why didn't David run? That scene, you know, there's an anecdote about that scene, which is that when we were filming that scene, what happened was on the call sheet, we had all of the footage for the death of Jeff Trail, and then on a different day, we had the reaction of David Madsen. So I had time to prepare for that. But on the day, the director, Dan Minahan, said, "Okay, Cody, we're turning the camera around and we're going now." And myself, Darren, Chris, and Finn were all like, whoa, that's heavy. And I kind of had a moment of, I don't know that I'm prepared for this as an actor. It's so heavy emotionally. How am I going to go there? You know, your insecurities as an actor come up. And Dan, who's such an incredible director, said, this is a man who could never anticipate what's about to happen. So just go with the authenticity of the moment. I think it's the hardest thing that I've ever done as a human being. Oh, it's so sad, but yeah.